I have massive breaking news for you guys. We have an article here by Fierce Wireless, which I will leave in the description down below so you guys can check it out. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And the job cuts are now officially announced. If you guys remember, there was an article that was released earlier in the month from the Mobile Report that a corporate senior level executive named Marcus East was going to be leaving the company. And at that time, I was already getting messages of a bigger layoff that's happening. It was also discussed in that article, but wasn't confirmed because at that time, didn't really know for certain that this was going to happen. Well, this morning, Mike Sievert released a company-wide email detailing the job cuts, and Fierce Wireless has it, so we'll get into it in this video, and then later we'll have more to unpack in a video later this afternoon. T-Mobile announced to its employees today that it is planning to reduce its workforce by about 7%, which equates to about 5,000 jobs. They are going to do this relatively quick. This is going to happen over a 5-week period. So in a letter sent to employees, T-Mobile CEO Mike Sievert wrote that the cuts will impact employees in locations across the country, primarily in corporate and back office and some technology roles. This round of cuts will not affect retail and consumer care employees. So this is good. So if you're in retail, you're not walking on eggshells. After this process is complete, I do not envision any additional widespread company reductions, again, in the foreseeable future. Impacted roles are primarily duplicative to other roles or may be aligned to system or processes that are changing or may not fit with our current company priorities. He added that T-Mobile is going to build bigger, broader people manager roles with deeper spans and fewer layers. At the same time, we'll also be decreasing our reliance and spend on external workers and resources. Today, Sievert said what it takes to attract and retain customers is materially more expensive than it was just a few quarters ago. We've been outrunning this trend by accelerating merger synergies and building our high-speed internet business faster than expected and outperforming in a few other areas. However, it is clear that doing everything we are doing and just doing it faster is not enough to deliver on these changing customer expectations going forward. Like I've been saying, this is where the new plans come in, the higher pricing, removing the free lines. They are now all about margins. You could say the Un-carrier is done. Right? They might still throw in a few moves that they label Un-carrier because the other carriers aren't doing it. But for the most part, moving forward, T-Mobile is going to look at margins. They need to bring everything to the company that's accretive. Right? They've been on the offensive for a very long time now. They've continued growing. And the customer acquisition cost is very high at the type of growth that they're chasing. It costs them a lot of money to get these customers in through device financing, through other promotions. Bring your own device. We'll give you $200 per line. That was recently reduced. So they're looking to cut expenses, cut operations, operate as efficiently as possible, and produce better margins. Now, cutting these jobs, these 7%, about 5,000 jobs, is going to hit the bottom line a bit. They put it in the tax filing. They say it's going to cost them about $450 million to cut all these employees. So that's through, they're going to give them severance pay depending on seniority. You get more, you get less. They're going to give them like some sort of indefinite discount on T-Mobile phones and service. So that's something that T-Mobile is going to do, and that's gonna cost them about $450 million to pay all that out to cut these 5,000 jobs. But of course, in the next quarterly earnings and all of them thereafter, they're going to report better financials, right? That they'll have 5,000 less people on payroll. They're growing the Go 5G Plus. That's costing more. The Go 5G Next is now being incorporated into the base. That probably won't see an effect until the fourth quarter, I would say. So massive cuts coming to T-Mobile. This is more corporate, back end technology side, as Sievert outlined in the email. Retail, customer care not affected. That's good to see. So we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. T-Mobile is now focused on margins. So whatever moves they make in the future, try to look at it from that perspective, right? When there's another uncarrier move, whenever they announce one, look at it from a perspective like, hey, these guys are trying to make more money. How good can this move really be for me as the consumer? Because they're all about margins now. They're making that very clear. They just cut the promotional pressure. Now they're cutting 7% of the workforce. And they're telling you it's costing them more to acquire these customers. And they continue growing at the pace that they've been growing. It's just, the math is not mathing. So now they got to cut out the free lines on the higher end plan. They got to make better margins. So we'll see what happens. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the later videos. See y'all in the next one. Peace.